Dear brothers and sisters, it's wonderful to be here with all of you. And as we get together here at the beginning of the spring season, at this time of the year, we see a big change coming. The winter is kind of going away, the spring is dawning, and we find that the environment is getting better and better for each and every one of us. And this is the thing where many people do what they call spring cleaning. Cleaning the house, cleaning after the long winter, so that we can ready to be able to enjoy the joys outside. I start to see things sprouting out of the ground. Start to see greenery, and you start to see lovely like white clouds in the sky, kind of showing the dawning of the sun to be coming out and the weather to be getting nicer and nicer. And so this is a very joyous time of the year because it's a beginning of new activities coming into our life. And so as we think about spring cleaning, we also need to think about the cleaning of our real self, the cleaning of a soul, and spring cleaning of the divine is something that we need to focus on as we start to clean our environment. There's a very interesting anecdote about a young man. This young man wanted to learn about God. He wanted to learn about meditation. And so he found a spiritual teacher and he learned the techniques of meditation from the spiritual teacher. This teacher taught him how to meditate. And so when this person went home, he started to meditate. He meditated for a day or 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month. And then he thought that he's not gaining the experiences that he wants to gain. So he went back to the spiritual teacher and said, I'm not having the experiences that I think I should be having. And so he was asking for some help. So the spiritual teacher asked him to tell him what is it that he was doing, what his technique was, and what he had told him to do, and what it was it that he was following. And so when this young man told the spiritual teacher about what he was doing, the spiritual teacher understood exactly what he needed to do to be able to experience the spiritual journey better. But the spiritual teacher thought that if I'm going to tell him to fix this and this and this, he is going to have a difficult time understanding that. And many times we understand through examples. So the spiritual teacher told him, okay, I would like you to go to a couple. And he told him where the couple lived. And he said, I would like you to go there and stay there for a few days. And you will find that your meditations will get better. So the young man's very happy. He's going to go to someone's house. He's going to see what they do. He's going to be learning from them. And he'll be on his way. So he finds the house of the couple. And he goes there. And the couple tells him, we don't know why this teacher sent you to us, but maybe there'll be something that you can learn from us, but we're very, very busy. This is the springtime, so we're doing spring cleaning. And so we are going to be very busy for the next few days, but you're welcome to watch whatever we do. And so he's gone there in the evening, go to bed, they get up in the morning, and the young couple gets up early in the morning. And as they get up in the morning, they start to dust. They're dusting their furniture. So they're taking the dust of the furniture, they're cleaning up the other things that they have in the house, and just dusting. And so this young man is watching them and is thinking to himself, how is my meditation going to get better by just seeing these people dusting things? And then after they've dusted, they take the vacuum out and they're vacuuming the carpet. They go and they're vacuuming, and then they get to an area where they don't have a carpet in the kitchen. They're mopping the floors. And so this young man is thinking to himself, why did the spiritual teacher send me here? Because, all they are doing is like cleaning up. But then he thought to himself, okay, there must be some reason. And so then they had a little break. They're having breakfast, and as they're having breakfast, they start to talk to each other. And so he's saying, I'm watching you, but I don't know how my meditation will get better. And they said, we don't know why you came here too, because we're not meditating at this time. We're going to meditate late at night. That's our way of meditation. And we just meditate regularly. We don't do any, special things to meditate. So we don't know what you're getting from us, but if the spiritual teacher sent you here, there must be a good reason. But we're very busy. We have to clean up. And he says, will you do something different tomorrow? They said, no, for the next week we're just cleaning up. So the young man is thinking to himself, what else to do? And so, after the breakfast, they get done. Now they bring up window cleaners, and they're spraying the windows, and they're cleaning the windows now. And as soon as they're cleaning the windows, you start to see outside. And you see that as the windows are cleaned up, and on the outside, they started to see some green growths coming up. So they looked at them, they were very happy, but they went on cleaning up. As they're cleaning up the windows, and then it comes lunchtime. And they have lunch and they talk about the same thing, because the young man is very interested in having his meditations get better. But they're getting to know answers. So after lunch, they come and they bring out bags, different bags, and they take out and they label them. They say, this is for donation, put it on the bag. This is for recycling. This is trash to throw out. And they're labeling different bags. And then they open their cupboards and they start to look at things, and they put some into the ones to be recycled, and some into the ones to throw trash, and some that they want to donate, and they just cleaning up things. And he's just watching, because he was told that he should watch them and he will gain. And then, as they're doing this, it's time for the evening tea. So you have tea and cookies and some snacks, and they're talking about the same things, but no solutions. And when they get done with that, because the sun was still up, so they said, okay, now we're going to go out and clean the ground. So they go outside, and they've seen the weeds have come, and so they're removing the weeds, and they're seeing some growth is coming. They're bringing soil and putting in some areas where they want to plant things, and they start to clean the outside, and this young man is watching everything. And they work hard till the sun sets, and then come and have dinner. And when they've had dinner, they're talking about the same things again, but don't get to any conclusions. And so after dinner, the young couple said, now we meditate. So then they go and they meditate. And so he's watching them. They're sitting normally. They're not putting one leg on the top of the other. They're not doing like a pose like this or anything else, or like go like, They're just sitting normally. So he's thinking to himself, what am I learning from these guys? They're not doing anything special. So they just to meditate too, and they meditate for a while. It's time to sleep, and they sleep. So one day goes by, the second day goes by, and things are very similar. The third day goes by, the things are similar. So he decides, I don't think I can gain anything from here. He decides to go back home. They're providing him with meals, but then they're busy doing the cleaning up. So he comes back to the spiritual teacher, and he said, you sent me to the home of this couple, but I didn't gain anything. So the spiritual teacher asked him and said, what did you see when you were there? And the young man said, when I went there, there was a lot of dust in their home that they cleaned. The carpets were not in good shape, the floor was not in good shape, they cleaned that. The windows were very dirty, you couldn't even see outside, they cleaned those. And they took the things out, and whatever they wanted to donate or recycle or something, or throw in trash, they cleaned up the place, and they cleaned the outside. So the spiritual teacher asked him, what did you see when you left? And he said that the house, which was cluttered and dusty, was totally clean. So the spiritual teacher told him that this is what I wanted you to experience. For you to have better meditations, what is very important is the dust on your soul be removed. The thoughts that you've been having over the years have created layers and layers of dust and grime on your soul. Those need to be cleared. And then he said, you need to vacuum away all that comes from the words and deeds which are an effect of the thoughts that you have. Because from the thoughts come the words, and from the words come the deeds. And these need to be vacuumed away, because these are also creating like grime on a soul. And then the spiritual teacher said that as you're able to deal with the thoughts, which you'll do when you do your Simran, when you repeat God's name, and as you're able to deal with the words and the deeds and the effects that they have, then you need to clean the windows. He said, what windows do I clean? He said, cleaning the windows is getting your focus to be proper. So you need to learn the technique of making sure that your focus is correct, that your concentration is in the right arena, so that you're able to experience the divine inner vistas. And then the spiritual teacher said that your soul has been transmigrating for eons and eons. And so, as you've gone through different experiences, you've got attachments, things that you get attached to. And so, you need to be able to make sure that the stuff that you're attached to, you can get away from. So just like we do spring cleaning and we say, oh, this one can be donated and this can be recycled and this can be thrown out, you also need to go and do that for yourself, so that the attachment to yourself is removed from you. The things that are attached to you, things from which, if you have something and if it's taken away from you, you feel the pain. Things that you want to get and you don't have, you feel the pain. So those kind of connections need to be pulled away. And then the spiritual teacher said that you need to lay the groundwork. You need to till the soil. You need to make sure that the base is made properly. So just like you make the grounds outside, you take the weeds out, you are able to put new seeds in so that there will be new growth. When you start to lead your life properly, when you want your meditations to be better, then you need to focus on the kind of life that you are leading, which can lead you towards a goal. A life of love, a life of selfless service, a life of compassion, a life of truth, and a life in which you extend a helping hand. So that as you lead that life, you're laying a groundwork in which your soul then can easily soar into the regions within. That these are the experiences that the spiritual teacher said, I wanted you to have, so that you can understand what are the bases on which your meditations will get better. We all want to meditate well, but we forget that there are many attachments, many activities that we do which keep us from having our meditations be as fruitful as they can be. Our meditations are very, very loving. Our meditation gives us tremendous joy. Our meditations are very uplifting, and our meditations can put us in a state of bliss like we've never experienced before. But it is these attachment, the dust and the grime and the thoughts and the desires that keep us from experiencing the divine for ourselves. And so, if we look at our own lives, and if we want to have our meditations get better, then we need to make sure that the environment in which we are is also clean, that the activities that we do on a day-to-day basis are such that we are able to take steps towards our goal properly. So like finding a quiet place to meditate is very important, because any noise is a distraction. Having a life of harmony is very important. So harmony in the family, harmony with friends, harmony in the workplace, because any turmoil keeps us away from us being able to meditate properly. Being truthful is very important, because whenever you lie, then to cover one lie, you have to lie many, many other times. Okay? Then you have to keep track. I said this to this guy, I said this to this guy, said that to that guy. But you're talking the truth all the time is one and the same. You don't have to change anything. Living with humility. So our ego is not getting the better of us. So realizing we're all members of the same family of God, we are all one and the same, is very important. So that we are not living in a manner in which it boosts ourselves. Kabir Sahib has said that wherever there's ego, there's no question of finding God. And wherever there's God, there's no ego. And so ego is what puts us in a state of duality. Ego says, I am me and you are you. Okay. Two. Me and you. We need to be in a state of unity where there's no me and you and there's only one. And if there's ego, there's always going to be duality. So we need to get away from that. We also need to lead a life of selfless service, because once we realize we're all one and the same, which realization comes in, not by reading, not by listening to something, but through the experience of the divine light and sound within. When we have that experience within, then we realize that if we can experience the divine light of God, so can everyone else. And then it's very easy for us to extend a helping hand to others. And so a life full of virtues is very, very important. Tulsi Sahib has said very beautifully about what is the process of meeting God. It says, दिल का हुजरा साफ कर जाना कि आने के लिए ध्यान गैरों से उठा उसके बिठाने के लिए. He's saying, cleanse the innermost chamber of your heart if you want to experience God. He says, take your attention away from everything else on the outside if you truly want to be focused on God. So we need to do a cleaning of our soul. Our soul is covered by layers of mind, matter, and illusion. And we need to get away from that. And just like we do spring cleaning of the house, physical house, we need to realize that this human body is the house in which our soul resides. So this needs to be pure. This needs to be cleansed. Because if this is not cleansed and if this is full of dirt and grime and everything else, we are not going to be able to experience ourselves as we truly are. So the key is to be able to focus on what would cleanse our soul. And as we find ourselves doing those activities which will cleanse our souls, then we'll find that our steps towards our true goal, the goal of finding oneness with God, will come very, very rapidly. We all want to go back home. We all want to fulfill the very purpose for which we come into this world. We all want to be one with God. And as Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj said, he said, what one man can do, so can another. So he would always tell us that each and every one of us is capable of going back to God. It's a question of how much emphasis we place on being with God. It's a question of how much passion do we have to know God. It's a question of what is our dedication to get to our goals. And as we start to focus on fulfilling our goal, it's important that the base be cleansed, that the first steps be taken. And so as Tulsi said, to cleanse the innermost chamber of your heart. That's the soul. So if you want to go on the spiritual journey, it's important that there be a cleaning process by which our base is set up. And that cleaning process comes through inculcating the ethical virtues in our life. Now, this is a stepping stone to spirituality. This is not the goal. It's just the first step. And so the first step is cleansing. First step is to inculcate the ethical virtues, because the ethical virtues are cleansing our soul. And then, as we meditate, as we are able to still the mind, as we do a Simran or repeat God's name or focus on God so that no thoughts are coming to us, because all the difficulties that are coming, which are impeding our spiritual growth, are because of our thoughts. Our thoughts distract us. Our thoughts are not taking us toward God, the thoughts are taking us toward the world. So that's the main culprit. And so that needs to be dealt with, and we need to get to a state where our thoughts are not troubling us. And that comes through Simran, that comes through focusing on God, that comes through repeating God's name. And as we do that, and we start to experience the love of God within ourselves, then our total attention is on God, and then we can get to a state of no thoughts, no distractions. It's then that a real journey starts. So we all can reach our goal. We need to be regular in our spiritual practices. We need to have an ethical base which we establish. And then we need to fulfill by being able to clean the windows by making sure that our focus is proper so that we can soar into the regions beyond, so that we are able to experience the divine light and the divine sound within ourselves. So as we gather here today and as we're starting towards the spring and going into the summer, let's meditate for a few minutes. Let's know that the spring is here and the sun would be shining. It's always shining within. The spiritual sun is always out there. Many times when there's clouds, we think that the sun is not there, but if you, those of you who fly, you know the planes can go through the clouds and the sun is always there on the other side. It's just like there are times when difficulties come in and we feel as if we're never going to be able to experience joys, but the joys are always there. The eternal light is always there. It's we who are unable to reach there. It's not that it isn't there. It's we who are unable to experience that. So we should be focused so that the outside difficulties are not keeping us from our goal. We can soar through them and get to the eternal light within. So let's meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeball should be straight, focused 8 to 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. This repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. Right in front of you, in the darkness, light will start to spout forth. So keep your gaze right in the middle of your experience. I pray to God Almighty and to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Purush Sandarshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us here connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. So we'll be sitting for a few minutes and I'll be getting you out of this meditative state at that time, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you.
Hello. Hello. It looks like you. Yeah, that looks like you. Let me get it.